Welcome back to Six in the City. We'll have more from the McGill family. Always a delight to be working with them.
It is.
Luke J. Pruett is with us, and Jim Wilhelm is with us, and they do a podcast called Our Jackson Home, and they just took our photo, and we're going on the web right here. All right, so right here,
Watch
right now.
yourself.
Watch
Look
yourself.
out
Be
now.
careful out here. All right, so what is this, guys?
Jim and I are not Jacksonians originally. We both came here to attend Union University and have just fallen in love with the city. Jim did some theater work on the West Coast and came back, and we were going to church together, and I was telling him I've always wanted to have a radio show. And he said, well, I've got all the equipment at home. And so we interviewed a few friends and put it on the internet and called it a podcast, and it's gone so well that we're going to launch a website here soon.
So how often do you do this then?
Well, we do about an interview every couple of weeks, I'd say, and we've interviewed everybody from artists to corporation heads to, we could even interview a guy right off the street, because everyone has a great story that you can learn from and be entertained by.
All right. So
how do you go and find the people to interview? Do you find them, or they find you sometimes? Or?
Yeah. We've started with a few friends, and then we would hear about other folks, and it's everybody from Barry Cooper, the Jacoa head, to Ben Williams, who's a creative designer here, who's a musician as well, and so we're just trying to be like Steve and Cassandra, really, on the internet.
All right, so where do people find this?
Okay, you can go to www.rjacksonhome.com, and that will launch live next week.
Okay.
You can also find us on Facebook at Our Jackson Home and Twitter as well.
Oh, you are like ours.
Our Jackson
Our Jackson
Home.
Home.
Our Jackson Home.
Website launch is our gift to Jackson, Tennessee.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Jim's becoming Garrison Keeler here.
Okay. That's it. So the format of this, is it interviews? Is it a mixture of?
Well, we like to in our slogan, we call it front porch conversations without the front porch. We want Jacksonians to know that these wonderful people with interesting stories are out there. It's very open and conversational. It's like meeting a good friend on your front porch and just chatting, getting to know about them.
So it's kind of just a casual atmosphere.
Very casual.
All right.
So what kind of response are you getting to this?
It's been fantastic. We did a spread in the newspaper last week. It was a really well-written story, and so starting in January, we're going to launch our institution series. So we'll be with the Chamber of Commerce and Downtown Development and the Co. kind of profile what they're doing, and we'll be covering events and that kind of thing as well in the city.
All right.
So
All right, it's all good. All right. So you guys are going to stay?
Sounds great.
we're here. We're here to stay.
So what appealed to you about Jackson, not being from here then?
Well, I used to work a lot out on the West Coast, and going to school here, I missed being able to walk the streets at night waving at some guy, and he would actually use all of his hand to wave back at you. That's not the same out in some cities. And I just miss that small town vibe.
Okay.
You can just feel the friendliness. Even though people don't know you, they're still friendly to you out here.
And for me, I love the Delta. I'm from Arkansas originally, but Jackson offers a lot of things. It's a large enough city where everything you would want is here, but the barriers of access are still low. You can meet about anyone that you would want to in the city.
Certainly is accessible.
And the city is full of history, so there's so much potential for this show.
The arts tradition here is amazing, and so we want to exalt that and advocate for it.
All right, so in Pontiac, where do you see this going then? Because you got a local base, but yet you have international exposure with a podcast, right?
Sure. So. Yeah. The advantage is it's portable and can kind of go places. We ultimately it's a hobby, but we've kind of brought together a team. Really, more than anything, we want a lot of young people's voices to be able to be heard and to encourage people here to hear a number of different kinds of people speaking. And so we want to encourage young people to get involved in new and different ways and see the history of the city here.
And even though it is local, people may see the podcast or a video we put on there on our Facebook page and say, that's a place I want to live.
Okay.
So we could, it reaches beyond Jackson.
Oh yeah, so certainly that's the advantage.
Well, and what I like about it is it's going to tell a positive story about Jackson. It's going to put Jackson in the positive spotlight versus, the negative spotlight.
There's too much bad news in the world today. We want to offer a little bit of good news.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
I guess also, many people that have been in the city or come through this area or lived in the city, I think will find this. I would think that you can start picking that up.
That's exactly right. I'm actually in law school in Memphis and have stayed here to commute the entire time. And there's a blog there run by the Travel and Tourism Board called I Love Memphis. And so that's where a lot of this stemmed from, is they were doing fantastic work. And if I wanted to know about something that was happening on the weekend or a local voice. And so we kind of want to bring that same voice to Jackson that they've procured there.
Okay. Well, it's the work of Luke J. Pruett and Jim Wilhelm, and it's ourjacksonhome.com, right?
Should be
Starting the
launching
first
next week.
And
Next
then you can
week.
get on Facebook, Our Jackson Home as well, and find that.
And then find them on YouTube. Find your
So
podcasts
then
on YouTube.
then the website then will archive these shows as you do them? Is that?
It will, and we'll be on iTunes as well.
Okay. And so, all right, well, so build a catalog out there.
That's
All
right.
We'll see.
That's
all right.
right.
Absolutely.
Well, continue best with this. Good to see you guys.
With
Thank
so many
you.
creative people here in town and so much history, you guys should stay pretty busy.
I'm not going to run out of material.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, there's not. You won't
So look
have
for
to
their
run
work.
out.
Luke J. Pruett and Jim Wilhelm, and it's ourjacksonhome.com or Our Jackson Home on Facebook.
Facebook.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you
Christmas.
guys.
Merry
Appreciate what you're
Christmas.
doing.
We're going to be back with more Six in the City.